What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. So, last night was game four of the 2022 Eastern Conference Finals between the first seeded Miami Heat and the second seeded Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics cruised to a 102-82 victory to tie this series up at 2 games apiece. As a matter of fact, you could argue this game was over after the first quarter. I tuned in late to this game, thinking that the game started at 9. And when I turned on the game, Boston was already up 18-1. And the way Boston plays defense, and as inept as the Miami Heat looked offensively, I kind of pretty much figured that, it was going to be really, really, really difficult for Miami to come back. I said, well, they can come back. They'd have to go on one of these runs. But when I started noticing that they just couldn't get anything done offensively in the first and second quarter, like, no, this game's probably over. Incidentally, yesterday was the 25th anniversary of one of the ugliest games I've ever seen. I posted about it in the community section yesterday, right? Game two, I think it was, Eastern Conference Finals, 1997. I think it was Chicago. I think it was game two. Chicago Bulls, Miami Heat. Final score that game 75-68. Uh, Pippen started off hot, finished 9 of 21 from the floor, 23 points. Jordan only shot 4 of 15 from the floor. Did connect on 15 and 16 free throws, 23 points. But everybody played like shit in that game. And that was the infamous post-game press conference when Jordan said that he had given him and Pippen new nicknames, doo-doo and shit. I don't know, I just remember certain shit vividly in my mind going back to basketball, man, dates and things of that nature. But anyway, you can definitely argue that Miami played like doo-doo and Jimmy Butler played like shit. Now, I guess Jimmy Butler was still feeling the same effects, or feeling the after effects of that knee issue that he has. Um, 28 minutes, he only scored 6 points, I believe it was. Uh, Not a factor at all. Um, Tyler Hero was out. And one of the problems that Miami has is sometimes they just don't get enough scoring. They're a great defensive team, but sometimes the scoring just is not there. And when you don't have a Tyler Hero who is averaging 20 points per game coming off the bench, and when Jimmy Butler is not, Jimmy Butler out there, then, offensively more than likely going to struggle. Outside of those two guys, Bam didn't have a great game. Outside of those guys, if they're not getting it going, then the odds are Miami's going to struggle for points. Jayson Tatum bounced back for the Boston Celtics with 31 points. And I also want to say this. I want to give a lot of credit to Ime Udoka because the media is not doing it. It really bothers me. And I say this all the time, but I'm sorry. It really bothers me how Brad Stevens got so much credit for coaching the Boston Celtics. And I remember him being called a genius and all this type of stuff, right? All the time. Brad Stevens is such a genius. Brad Stevens never had this Boston Celtics team looking this great, nor going to the point where you thought they were going to possibly win a title. I mean, even when they was playing in the Eastern Conference Finals back in 2017 or in 2020, you never seriously thought they were going to beat the opposition, which I believe, was LeBron James and the Cavaliers 2017 and this Heat team in 2020. You just never seriously thought it. This series, you can really see even though it's tied 2-2, when Boston is fully healthy, like, a lot of times they might have this guy out. They have Marcus Smart out, or they have Grant Williams out, or Al Horford and Robert Williams out, or Jaylen Brown might not play. You know what I'm saying? But when they have a fully healthy team, they're scary. Look, man, I'm gonna go ahead and just say this: Boston Celtics might win the championship. They might win the championship. They might. When they're fully healthy, they're a great defensive team that has a lot of size. You can see that when they're playing against Miami. They just look like when they're playing Miami. Sometimes you're looking at them on the court. They look like high schoolers playing some. They look like seniors playing juniors or soft or freshmen. Sometimes they just look so much bigger than these guys. Then you have the fact that Al Horford, some of these other bigs can shoot so well from outside. Then you have the scoring of Jaylen Brown, who can give you 20, 25 a night. Jayson Tatum can give you 25 to 30 any night. Marcus Smart, who's so improved offensively, he can get you 15 to 20 points a night. Al Horford can occasionally give you 20 plus a night. I mean, then you have one of these games where one of these unsung players like Grant Williams might have a hot game and give you 15 points, and some of these other players might have great games, give you double digits. Plus, they have the stifling defense. I'm becoming a believer in Emil Udoko, man. I think he should. I think he might be the best coach in the league. He's inspired. I know that. He's really inspired. He's hard nosed. He's old school, and he's not getting the credit that I think he deserves. And I also think that if Boston played the Warriors, they would give the Warriors problems. Their size, their defense, their physicality, their shooting. I mean, the Warriors are known for being a shooting team, but and they are. But Boston has a lot of guys who can shoot from outside as well. You know, and I'm just thinking about a series like that now. I could see Steph Curry struggling. I could definitely see Steph Curry struggling against the Boston Celtics, and they couldn't afford that. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I see Steph Curry struggling in most of those games by his standards. Either he's going to not score as many points as he normally does, or he's going to have to take a lot more shots to get his points, which will be taken away offensively from other guys. You know, but anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves. We got to talk about this series. The next game, the scene shifts to Miami. The way this pattern has been, Miami's probably going to come out aggressive and try to punch them in the mouth. Uh, Boston seems to be more capable of coming back from bigger deficits than Miami because they have a more potent offense. The question is, can Miami withstand that and maintain their lead, maintain their momentum, or things of that nature? But we'll see. Maybe we're wrong. Maybe Boston dominates in Game 5. Tell me what you guys think.